Welcome to Partners and Pathways podcast, navigating HR together. Welcome to Partners and Pathways podcast. This is our very first, what we're calling off episode. Today we're having a roundtable with a couple of my Gen Z friends. And we are having what we're calling an off episode. And basically we just want to be able to talk about other things just outside of the regular or usual HR functions. I have three amazing ladies joining me today, and I'm excited to speak with them. And I will let them introduce themselves, don't worry. And it's going to be an exciting conversation. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Good morning. Nice to have you all here. Good to meet with you. And I'm so excited. So please, let's be unhinged. And just in case you guys don't feel the pressure, let me just let you know you're representing over 2 billion Gen Z people in the world right now. All right, so good to have you. I'll let you introduce yourselves, what you do, and then we'll get right into it. And I'll start with Debbie.
Hi everyone, my name is Deborah. I am an entrepreneur. I run a smart business. I also proofread by the side and dabble into a bit of digital marketing. I have a master's degree in HR as well.
The one that ran away. Okay, Riri.
All right, my name is Riri Luluwa Ogumala. I work in the public sector, the humanitarian sector. I work in the People and Culture Department, also known as HR, as a professional.
Okay, and finally, we have Kitoye. You will not believe how many times I rehearsed this name, but yes, finally I got it. So, Kitoye.
Hi everyone, my name is Kite. I would say I'm a public/civil servant. I have a master's degree in economics. I am planning on working into the cybersecurity aspect, being a specialist in cybersecurity.
All right, so I love stories. I love to hear stories. I love to know everybody's journey, and I'm curious. So I'll start with Kitoye, just because you're in the public sector and working in government. How did that happen?
Okay, so honestly, if you had told me 10, 15 years ago that I would actually be in the government, I would have told you that was a lie. Because as a child growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. Then get to senior secondary school and write JAM, WAEC, and at the point I didn't have my science courses. So then the next available option was go study economics. And at that time I was like, economics, most of all the people I know that read economics are either teachers, professors, or lecturers. So I don't see myself in that line. But then again, I worked in good fit, and here I am. I find myself here, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm seeing that there are lots of other fields where, as an economist, you can actually contribute.
That sounds very interesting. Riri, I have a sneak peek into at least your starting point, where when I met you, like, oh, I want policy. Now you're in HR. How did we end up there?
Okay, I like to say that I stumbled into it because I think I did. And this is because when I wanted to study for my master's, I studied English language for my first degree, and I wanted to study for my master's. I was looking for courses to study, and I remember my daddy clearly saying, do not study HR, human resources. So for me, he's like, oh, I don't think you should do that. And my father hardly used to give opinions concerning personal things like that. But when he said that, I'm like, okay, no problem. I mean, he's paying the fees and all. So he suggested other fields that I should look into. And I did, and I pursued a master's in conflict, peace, and strategic studies because I'm also interested in advocacy, policies, governance, and all of that. But then I finished my master's and I was looking for a job. I was looking for a job, and I wasn't looking for a HR job because my father said, do not study HR. So it meant that I wouldn't study HR and I wouldn't also work in that field, at least not intentionally. And a friend of mine, I don't know if I should call her name, but a friend of mine sent an ad for HR intern role with an NGO. And she was like, oh, it's open to anybody and everybody. You don't have to have any form of experience in it. Just try it out and see what you think about it. And I was unemployed and broke. Living off everybody except myself. So I decided to just take that opportunity. And that was how I got into the space. Yeah.
Interesting. It sounds like a lot of us, really. But yeah, that's cool. So finally, Debbie.
The one that left, the one that ran away.
Yes.
It's basically the same thing. I finished school. I didn't get a job. I did my master's abroad even. I looked for jobs there, plenty. I didn't get them. But before I went for my master's, I was already running my scarf business. And here and there, I still used to try to do it like from there. So after some time, I just came back home. Let me just see how this thing goes. And I've actually been home since then. I resumed my scarf business, and then I've always had like a tick for like English writing. I used to help people read their like stuff, both academic and like personal books and stuff like that. So I said, let me monetize this thing. We're all looking for money.
Yeah.
I said, let me monetize this thing, and that was how I picked all of them back. And I used to do digital marketing before I left as well. I took it up, though I've not done that like very much for other people, but I find that it's useful for my business and my proofreading as well.
Great.
Yeah.
You guys should swap degrees.
I know, right? But I don't want policy. I did something that had to do with policy for my first degree as well.
Okay.
So I'm not.
Okay, so you can swap the one you want for my first degree.
Yes.
English.
Exactly.
That's great. I love stories. Let's get into it. I can't wait to hear. And part of the reason why I'm having this conversation with you guys is that over the past couple of maybe months, I've been reading a lot of stories. I've been reading a lot of articles. I've been hearing a lot of complaints. Gen Z this, Gen Z that, Gen Z. I'm like, hey, God, these Gen Z people, So let's even just have this conversation, right? Yeah. And let's unpack some of these things and hear your own perspectives and how you really feel about the labels that Gen Zs are getting. And one of them is that Gen Zs are just unfocused. You hear that a lot. It's like they're just unfocused. What is your response to that? And I'll start with you, Riri. What do you think? At least you're in the HR space, so you're also meeting a lot of Gen Z people within the workspace. Do you think they're unfocused? At least you sound focused.
I try, but I feel like I'd be biased towards Gen Z because I want to believe that I understand us better than other colleagues that are in other generations. But I don't think we're unfocused. At least, fortunately, I've gotten to work with a couple of Gen Zs in the space that I'm in. And I respect the work that they are doing and the contribution they are making in the workspace where I am. So I do not think that we're unfocused. I think that we are more misunderstood than unfocused. Yeah. So that's my opinion. And it's also quite understandable because we're from different generations, and it's easy to misunderstand because they would also say there's the gap. People in other generations also believe that we misunderstand them, and then we also feel the same way about that. So I do not think that we are unfocused. I just think that we are misunderstood, and that's it for me.
Okay. Okay, so you feel that Gen Z is misunderstood, right? All right, that's fine. But Debbie, being an entrepreneur, especially in Nigeria, and thriving in it, I think that it takes a bit of grit and some level of work ethic, right? So how can an unfocused, quote and unquote, person run a thriving business, especially in this climate? So what do you think?
Well, I think it just goes to say that they are not unfocused.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there are unfocused people
Mhm.
in the Gen Z bracket? Yes. As much as there can be unfocused people in other generations.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a personal thing.
Mm.
Maybe the unfocused thing is because there are a lot of things that are springing up in our time that they didn't really see in their time. So nowadays, if you see somebody that says, "Oh, maybe my work is on my phone," or I'm a videographer, all these like more recent things that are coming up, digital marketing, like all they see is that you're on your phone. So to them, the phone, you're just always on your phone. They don't know that you're working. They don't know that you are actually getting paid for being on your phone.
Yeah.
So I will understand that part. But like I said, just personal focus. What do you want out of life? What do you want out of this thing that you're doing? I love my business. I love scarves. There are times where it really gets difficult. Maybe sales are slow, or I just have a challenge, maybe supply or something. There are so many times I've sat down and like, I'm not doing this thing again.
Yeah.
When I first started, I didn't have a business name. And people were like, "Oh, you should get a business name." I even used to post on my personal page as well. I didn't open a separate page for it because I just felt, I'm just doing this thing for now.
Yeah.
I'll get a job or something, It's not a long-term thing. But I'm still, and I started 2021, by the way.
Yeah.
This 2025, I'm still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just personal focus. What do you want? What's your goal? What is your like self-ideal? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And I'm so happy to hear that. And we will drop the link to your business so that people can check you out and get their scarves. And I think it's really amazing that you've been doing this for so long. So coming back to you, Keto. I know you said Keto for short, but yes, I'm happy that I've gotten that. Now, when you started working with government, how did that go? What did you have expectations, and were they met, or was it really just a big surprise? Every day you're surprised at something.
Okay. So because of the organization I work with in government, it's different from what we see with the general government workers. So because for general government workers, I'd say they're more slack, or it's easy to go with. So probably with resumption time.
True, unfortunately.
So with resumption time, you could probably see someone resuming at 9.
Yeah.
But it's not the same here. So you had to, and I'm not an early morning person. So that's one thing that was a shock, having to be at the office exactly 8. But you have that grace period for 8:30. Then I resume and I'm excited. Okay, you have this new opportunity, you have this new role, you have expectations of people who have actually put you in this place. But then again, you get there and you're seeing something different. Like, oh, I'm ready to work, give me the work. And you're like, no, you just came in. Come back. You work with home. So you go to the office every day, and at the end of the day, what did you do? I actually did not do anything. I'm listening for you to give me something to do. And that was like going on for like months, until one day I walked up to like the head of my office and I'm like, "Sir, I've been coming to this office for the past months and I haven't gotten any work." So let it not be that, oh, she came to work and she's just whiling away time. I actually want to work. Oh, she give me work. Even if it's review past documents, just give it to me. Let me start that work. And he was like, okay. So he calls someone and he's like, she wants to work. Why are you not giving her work? So I think aside the early morning, waking up to meet up with resumption time, the other part was the fact that with what you see in movies where you see, oh, you hire someone new and they get straight to working. It's not that in reality. It's not that reality. Most organizations, for them, they actually have to like put you through like, I'd call a probation period. So they're trying to see what your work ethics is like. How do you handle work? Are you the kind of person that could give certain roles to handle? And if you pass, and that's what I didn't understand, because then no one is telling you.
Yeah.
You're just there waiting for just when someone actually hands the responsibility to you and say, okay, take charge, do this. But it was that waiting period. It was so frustrating, honestly, because you're going every day and you're coming back and you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And the annoying part is that you're coming back knowing that you haven't done anything, but you're tired. You're feeling tired.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I smelled when you said you walked up to the head of the office, and I was like, oh God, that is a typical Gen Z.
Audacity.
That is a typical. Because maybe my generation, millennials, maybe you start, gossiping with the other person that was hired alongside you. Maybe that would be the approach. But and that's one of the things that if you look at all the studies and the research, is that they credit to Gen Z, that you're bold, you're audacious, you chase things, and you like value. So whatever you do, there has to be some value that you're chasing in it. So it's really, really, really great. So let's talk about challenges in the workspace and how you have been able to navigate them. So I'm curious, Remy, what challenge, or can you share at least one big challenge that you have been able to navigate?
Okay, so I would
or are navigating.
I would go back to the beginning of my career and I would bring it to where I am now. So like I said, I stumbled into my department, into HR, and I was just happy to do my best. I wanted to, I just believed that whatever was worth doing, I would do it well. So I just said, oh, while I'm here, whatever I need to do, I'll do it properly. And I got into the space. I was excited to work after being unemployed for so long. And unlike Kitoye, I actually hit the ground running in my the work was a lot. I'm like, what are you waiting for me? So I started the work, but I'm a people person. I mean, I think I am, and people say I am. But unfortunately, I'm one that would pride myself being able to relate with anybody and everybody per time. At least, even if we don't become close, we don't have to fight. But I got into my workspace, and my supervisor, who was also HR, we didn't work well together. I don't know what happened. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it was a very personal thing, or if it was a personality thing for her. But it was difficult. So for someone that used to think, I can work with anybody, just do my job and go, it was as if she didn't even want me to do my job. So doing my job became difficult, because for everything I had to do, she found a way to downplay it or to criticize it, not even constructively. So for me, that was a very difficult challenge. Like, I didn't know why. So it was frustrating, coupled with the fact that, like I said, I stumbled into the role. So it's not even as if I was doing the best thing ever, and then I was now working with somebody difficult. And I remember wanting to quit, because Gen Z too, we're known for giving up. We don't have long suffering, the spirit of long suffering sometimes. So I came home and I'm like, I told my siblings and my mom, I'm not doing this anymore. My mom was like, you never know the next place you're going to and what would happen there. Like, there are always challenges in every workspace and every workplace. So you should not run because of that. And I just told myself that I'm not going to allow this person influence my reaction. Like, I'm only responsible for my reactions. I'm not the person's actions and all of that. So it was hard. Some days I'm crying on my way to work, but I get to work and I smile and I have to do what I have to do. But that was a major challenge. And my resolve was not to allow the person's actions affect me. So a part of me wanted to be the typical Gen Z and call her out. Like, don't talk to me like that. How much are you even paying me? And all of that. But I had to remember that this is just the beginning. I was setting a foundation for myself, the kind of thing I wanted, the kind of career I wanted to build, and I just endured. Yes, so that was a major challenge, supervision rather, and just figuring out how to manage it.
So, because I know the story, right? Didn't you take some action, which I think was very bold, that you did that? I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yes, I can speak to that. And I'm also grateful to you, because you influence that action as well. So like I said, I just wanted to come into work every day and do my job and go back, trying to ignore what was happening. But I remember speaking with Sarah. She's one of my mentors, and I remember speaking with her and sharing that part. I don't know, for some reason, it was a very short but lengthy conversation. I don't even know how that happened, but we spoke about so many things in a few minutes, and my work place came up, and I spoke about how my supervision has been. And at the time, I didn't even know she was in the HR space at all. Like, I had no idea. So all thanks to you, Sarah. You encouraged me the most to do something about it, beyond complaining and crying, because that's the best I could do at the time. So I had a conversation with you, and you encouraged me not to just let it go, if not for my sake, for the sake of other people that may come behind me, so that something is done. And I went to the office, and I walked up to my country director's office. And this is a big deal, because I was an intern. I don't want to start counting the roles that the roles that were above mine, getting up to the country director's role. It's something that is rare. It's not something that happens all the time. And I walked up to his office, and I booked an appointment with his secretary. I said I want to see the country director, and she asked me what's going on. I'm like, nothing. I just want to see the country director, and she allowed me to. And I went in to see my country director, and he was also surprised, because why? What is an intern doing that is so difficult that would make her want to see the country director? So I spoke to him, and I told him what was going on. I told him what had been going on so far. He was not as shocked as I expected him to be, because he said, oh, I think that I may have heard one or two complaints about this particular person, and I'm so impressed that you were bold enough to do this. Usually people would say, oh, I don't want to be victimized. I don't want people to look at me as a problem person and don't hire me again, or I'm an intern, what if I don't get a permanent role after this? But I'm glad that you did, and I'm going to guarantee you that we will do something about it. He was traveling, so he said he would hand over this particular issue to the person covering for him, and when he comes back, he'll pick it up from there. But unfortunately or fortunately, by the time he came back, I had gotten another job. I had left the organization, or I was leaving the organization. But I have no regrets that I did that.
All right. that is so interesting to hear, and so intriguing. And I'm glad, it's in moments like this that you really appreciate that boldness and that audacity that you guys carry. And I think it's admirable, because lots of people would have suffered in silence, and other people will come and face exactly what you faced. But I'm glad that you stood up. And credit also to the organization. At least they do have an open door policy that you could walk up to the country director to speak with him. Imagine other organizations, it might have been difficult. So exactly, exactly. Yeah. So that's great. So how then, let's now shift focus a bit from challenges to balance, right? A lot of the time you hear, oh, this thing is challenging my mental health. Hey, trauma, I'm traumatized. I don't have time for myself. This one, that one. And some of us are just raising our eyebrows like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Do you want to go to Yaba left?
Okay, so how do you find that balance? Kitoye, and I'll start with you. How do you find that balance with work, your personal life, and everything else?
Okay, so first of all say I'm happy that my organization actually encourage work-life balance. So they are they are an organization that will tell you, oh, when you're done with work, you're done with work. Once you're leaving the organization, leave work behind, except on special occasions when you know that your services will be needed after work hours. So on rare occasions, I don't carry my work system home. Even when I'm carrying it home and someone at home sees it, they're like, have work, and I'm like, yes, I have work, which is very rare. So I'm leaving the office and I'm done with work for that day. I probably would have mental notes at the back of my head that, okay, you have this left to do when you go back to the office the next day. But I don't know, I just find a way of striking that balance. Monday to Friday, I dedicate to the office. From 8 to 4, 5, 6 o'clock, I give my hours to the office. And once I'm done, I'm done. And I know that, then again, some Gen Zs, I know of some of my colleagues who are also Gen Zs, that once they're out of the office, they block. Which is not, which is not actually good. Because if you actually respect your time, I think your bosses would also see that she gives her time when she's in the office. So we should actually respect that fact that she has delivered what she needs to deliver on. And if you actually deliver on your deliverables on time, you don't actually lag and procrastinate. I don't think anyone would actually start calling you at odd hours of the night and start telling you, oh, you haven't done this and you haven't done that. So the first thing I think for me that works with me is make sure that when you have something to do it and make sure you get it past you. You need something to be done and submitted to your boss by 12. You should do it. You shouldn't wait till at the close of work when your boss is now looking, where's the document, where's the assignment, and you're now actually angry that he's calling you at the close of work. Why? You actually had all the time in the world to actually do that. So please, I'm speaking to my fellow Gen Zs out there, that because that's actually one of the that's how we actually get misunderstood.
Yeah.
So please, when you have your job, do it on time, and that way, and show your bosses that you actually respect the fact that they're giving you that opportunity to carry on that responsibility. Play your part, and I believe that anyone who has actually seen you play your part would also respect that time you have outside of work hours.
All right, as you were saying that, I just remembered a conversation I was having with someone. I said, I don't know, it's like Gen Z's operate in slow motion. All right, but yeah, I guess we're all kind of understanding each other, and I'd like to have the reverse of this conversation where a Gen Z person actually puts a set of millennials, and I think we should work on that.
I think we should.
All right, so let me shift to soft skills, because one of the things that I have read as well is that yes, you're bold, yes, you're audacious, yes, you're all of that, but what takes people off is how you A, communicate, and B, how you don't show respect. Show respect, to people. Like you may have a cause, you may have something that you're fighting for, which is good, which is noble, but it's just how you deliver it that doesn't quite sit well with, the other generations. Yes. So what soft skills do you think are important, and how do you feel Gen Z's faring when it comes to the soft skills department? Yeah. Yeah.
Generally, I do think soft skills are so important. I remember when I was done with uni, that in between phase as well, I actually did a small course on soft skills. I love soft skills. I feel like they are so important because most times it's like, oh, can you do the job? It's like hard skills, right? But it's like there are times where you will have somebody that knows how to do the job, but their character will just
put you off.
Exactly, put you off. So it's definitely very important. And communication, I prefer.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I look out for in writings. Like there's this thing they call like 6 or 7 now of communication. Like clarity, courtesy is important. It's very important. I heard this thing that someone said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something that is embedded in HR. So definitely soft skills are so important. Yes, you have something to say, but give them a reason to want to listen to you.
Exactly.
And actually give them, let them know your point of view. I'm so big on letting people know why. Let people know why they should listen to you, or why they should go with your angle. And definitely, as you're saying it, say it well. Give them benefits of doubt to understand that they might not necessarily see it from your perspective for so and so reasons. And actually work with them on that journey to getting to, believe what you are saying. Even if they don't necessarily agree, they might have a reason to just even let you be or just go with you on that in that particular scenario.
Yeah. So have you had any incidents where you have the training, right, about on soft skills? Have you had any instance where you've had to actively use that training in an interaction with a customer or something?
Yeah. So thankfully, generally, thankfully, I've not had a lot of negative experiences. I feel like I can count possibly on one hand actually how many bad experiences or bad customers. But I think the few experiences I've had, it was a case of miscommunication. And the very first one, I would think is like common knowledge. And this was like, this was several years back.
Yeah.
Then I don't think, so the customer like placed an order and I was going to be a delivery. So this was several years back. And I don't think delivery riders then, they used to like actively come out of their bike to go to your office, possibly maybe on the first floor, say, start climbing, I don't think they used to do that then.
Do they do it now? Even request sometimes. Okay.
Or maybe it's like a rider for the company.
Okay. Yeah.
But they didn't do that then. And the rider called me that the lady should come. And the lady too was saying she cannot come. And there was that back and forth. In fact, she was raising her voice on me. I was trying to reach out to her. I was trying to like text her. I think she blocked me in seconds. Audacity.
Oh wow.
She blocked me in seconds and she sends back my things to me like to
oh wow.
points like, and in my head I'm like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain to you. The second one I had, the lady misunderstood everything I had said, and I had said it several times, but maybe she did not really process it the way I was doing it. And she came back and was complaining about what happened, and I was like, man, this was what I was trying to explain to you. I showed her where I tried to explain it as well, and how it would never be my intention to do what she thought I had done, and I have no reason to do that. And she became calm. She was like, okay, it's fine. And I offered her like a discount on her next order. And she was still trying to like for me, and it's like, you're nice. And I'm like, this was entirely your fault.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to empathize with you, and you're still trying to take more out of me. I was like, Ma, please, I beg.
Don't kill
I
this
know
business.
they run this business. I know they represent you. You take so away, I don't give.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's little experiences we have had.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. Riri, I'll come to you because you need soft skills. How has that saved you? How has that bailed you out of maybe uncomfortable situations, especially with the older colleagues?
Okay, so I know Gen Zs are considered to be vocal people, but I'm also pretty vocal about I'm pretty vocal about my inconveniences on a normal day with my friends, with family. I try not to, because I believe the more you keep things inside, it will burst one day and you will not have control of when it does. So I'd rather that we try to sort out whatever it is and get it over with than for it to happen abruptly and then you have no control of how it happens. So for me, I'm trying to be more intentional about being a good communicator, good interpersonal skills and all, because it's very necessary for my role. So part of the things that I've tried to do, or how I've been able to work better with colleagues, is being as open as I can be, being as tolerable as I can be. And fortunately for me, I've worked with senior colleagues that have been great examples. Like, there are times that colleagues come into the office and you know that you're thinking the same thing that another colleague is thinking, but you cannot show it and you cannot say it. So you have to put your best foot forward and still be as approachable and as problem solving as possible. But there are also times where I've had senior colleagues try to undermine. I mean, I'm a policy interpreter by the virtue of my career. some things are directly written in the policy of the organization, and because it's coming from me, you can read it, it is there. A senior colleague can also tell you, but because it's coming from me, the intern, it's like, I beg, what is this one saying? Like, you want me to add respect into the policy that is open to everybody? And I'm like, to be very honest, when it comes to things that I feel like I'm in the right about, I'm a bit more assertive, but I try not to be disrespectful. I intentionally try, like, that's something that, because as a vocal person, it can also be misconstrued. So I'm intentional about trying to, I know it's a problem, so I've been working on it, and I think I'm getting better, and I'm quick to escalate. I will tell my senior colleagues, so that before you reach the office, I've reached the office for you, I've told them everything from the beginning to the end. So when you come, they're not surprised, you're not taken aback, and they can already tell the angle you're coming from, and they know how to handle it. So I try not to be disrespectful, but if conversations look like they're going beyond what I can handle, I escalate. I make sure I tell my senior colleagues so that they're able to either tell me what to do next or step in between the senior colleagues and myself. So I've had issues like that, a few of that, but I think as the years have passed, I'm also growing and adapting to.
Yeah. Great. So one of the things that I think is becoming very popular within the workspace is mentorship. I think it's growing, and it's really great. For some of us, when we started out, we didn't have that. It just wasn't there. So I just want you to kind of, and I'll start with you, Kitoye, and I hope all of you can answer this. So if you could get feedback from like a seasoned professional, either in your field or in life generally, just someone who is seasoned, from like a mentoring perspective with regards to all the misunderstandings that we're having between generations, what would that feedback be? And if you're able to give me vice versa, like if you want to also give feedback, what would you say?
Personally, with regards to what I do at the office, I think I've gotten a few feedbacks, and one of which is, okay, so a lot of people, recently one of my bosses told me that you actually do not behave like a Gen Z.
Okay.
And he was like, because you behave like someone in the older generation. And I asked him why, because it's like your work ethics and the way you compose yourself, it's a bit outside, or it's not as what you'd classify as a Gen Z behavior. And he told me, don't change, keep up the good work. And with regards to what you have been doing thus far, yes, he understands that our generation is mostly misunderstood, but at least from my perspective, he can see that not everybody can be put in that bracket. And I remember telling him that in as much as, yes, he had seen a physical example, he should help us relate to his own generation. Now, please, we're not that bad. That they just need to be able to understand us. They need to be able to be patient with us. I think that's what the older generation actually hasn't given to us Gen Zs. They haven't been so patient with us. They feel they are quick to judge. They are quick to conclude that we are rude. We do not want to listen, and we do not want to work. Yeah, most of us, like I used myself an example when I started work. We actually do not want to even be idle in the first place. Because like Debbie here, if she actually wanted to be idle, I don't think you would have started your business. She could have just closed it down and just relied on her parents. So exactly, Nigeria is bad after all. And even to our peers who have also like relocated, most of them use school to relocate and all. But you can see from those few examples, from the example of Debbie and from even the ones I believe are in the professional workspace, you can see that there are actually few of us out there that are actually willing to put out the work. So you should please be patient. Just be patient.
All right, please be patient. Be patient. All right, Riri.
So I'd like to say that the first thing I would encourage is that the generations above us should come to terms with reality. We are different. That is you have to just know and admit that we are different. So when you now know that and admit that we're different, you now know how to work better with us. And if we're stretching to take courses that will teach us about workplace ethics and interpersonal relationships, I think we can also do that. There are courses on intergenerational gaps and the workspace and all of that. So that's also something that we should be open to, or you guys should be open to, and for ourselves, and encourage us to also be patient with the older generations. My mom would always say balance has been the problem of man from time immemorial, but it is something that is important to coexist amicably. So I think what we should do is to cut ourselves some slack, both ways, and try to understand each other intentionally, because we have to work together. So the best way to go about it is to calm down, patiently understand each other. It's a give or take situation. We have to coexist. So.
And sorry, if I must add, another thing is I think the older generation needs to also realize that we're all different human beings and we have different personalities. So just like they also have their own personalities that we don't like, we would have our personalities that they don't like. So that vocal part of the Gen Z, that's where we now come and tell them that, oh, okay, you did this and I didn't like. So you can also tell us too that in a respectful manner. So as both ways, we can also communicate to ourselves in a respectful manner that, okay, this is what you did and I didn't like. And I feel we shouldn't now take each other for granted when we are now like pointing out like the bad sides of each other, and we should actually just take correction, because then again, change is inevitable.
Yeah, thank you so much. Debbie.
So I think, I mean, definitely the feedback is with them. So I can't say what feedback they should give us, but generally I would say they should definitely like speak out. The same way they think it's a problem for us, truly there are some things that we won't even know that they are thinking, and simply communicating that maybe we even know, but we didn't think of it in that manner. Do you understand? So I think they should really just tell us, and they should also understand like when we say it. And if there's anything else I want to add is, I think they should generally, I feel like people before now have just, sucked up a lot of things, even though they are not okay with it. They will just take it in and just that was a strong nod. That's a very strong nod. Well, I think that's why bad behavior just continues to thrive. I mean, I feel like that's how we got here as a nation. That one is a very different discussion. Very different discussion. Well, I feel like it's just simple accountability. There are times where I've gone to like restaurants, like, or different, not restaurants, sorry, like other companies or service providers. And they don't do something, and they just expect you to just collect it like that. It's like, it's not that deep, don't fight for it. It's not just how much is it. And for me, it's not the amount. For me, it's the behavior, because I feel like if you can handle my problem that cost me 1,000 naira this way, you're going to handle another person's problem that was worth 100k in this same manner. And for me, that's a problem. I run a business. I know how I take my customers' feedback seriously. And I do feel like we should just expect the same from people and sometimes demand it. There was a time recently, I'm going to mention this one. I went to MTN office. And I was complaining about my problem. I had gone there like 3 or 4 times as at that point. I had sent so many emails. I had tried calling. I had made so many attempts. Peaceful ones, I might add. So that day I came, and after a long time in the office again, I became worked up and I was raising my voice. And that ended, and as I was walking out, I overheard somebody teasing us, and the person was saying, oh, that's what happens when you're working with Gen Zs.
Oh my.
And I'm like, this is not even a Gen Z problem. This is not a Gen Z problem. I paid for a certain service. Give me the service. It's not that hard. But for some people, they feel like, oh, it's just and that's how a lot of things will just keep letting it slide, Nigeria will spoil. Everything will spoil, and we'll still be complaining. So for me, I do feel like generally people in other generations expect or demand that level of accountability or responsibility sometimes the same way we do it. That would be my own feedback. And then also give us feedback, because there's no way we will know if you don't tell us.
All right, cool. Fair enough. I think it's really, really, really fair enough. Okay, so we're winding down, and I just want to say, I think we've kind of answered this, but let's look ahead now. Coming into the future, what are some of the skills, what are some of the trends that you feel would be useful in the future?
I think some of the trends will be to be more in touch with the digital space, whether we like it or not. Just as Debbie had mentioned earlier, there's a lot of innovations coming up with the digital space, and if you do not keep in touch, you will lose out. Now, people can't even tell the difference between when people use AI or when people use their knowledge. So you have to know that. So that's a trend I think I would want other generations to look out for, to be in touch with.
Very true.
I think basically the same thing. The digital world is a thing, and I do feel like our parents too can take advantage of it in many ways. Even if it's something that we do for them, but at least when we present it to them,
it should be open.
They should be open. Although some of them are really getting to it, but there's still some grounds to cover.
All right.
Yeah, they should know that it is not just random. It is important with the way the world is. We're not just wasting time or being idle or whiling away time or just watching movies and all of that. It is actually something that would help all of us in no distant times.
All right. Okay, you have heard it. Okay. I'm quite passionate about this. I love giving credit where credit is due, and I feel like sometimes we don't understand how much impact we put into people's lives, and we also don't take the time to appreciate people who have impacted us in some way. And going through a difficult moment in my life, one of the things that I always say has kept me is just a message from someone just randomly saying, "Sarah, thank you so much. I worked with you. You were just great." That just helps me feel a lot better about myself, and at least not feel so down and depressed about the situation that I'm going through. So I feel it's important to always just remind people that they have made significant investments in our lives, and that we're able to speak to them, we're able to let them know. So this is like a kind of thank you moment where you are able to speak. You can call the person's name and we can tag them in this post so that they see it and they know that they impacted your life in some way, and you're truly grateful for that. So we'll start with Kitoye.
So I think I would like to say thank you to two people actually in particular. The first person, Miss Nene. She actually basically held my hand throughout my service year, because when I was posted to the department I was posted to in the organization I was working in, she said, "I'm not going to take you like a copper. I'm actually going to hold your hand and actually treat you like a staff, because this is where you prepare yourself for the work phase." So she actually held my hand with all my rants and everything. She actually was just there patiently listening and guiding me through. And the second person will be Mrs. Wumi Adelusi. I haven't really had much time to work with her, but from the distance and from the little time she had given to me to listen to me and actually render the advice, she had actually been of great help. So yes, thank you to you both.
So I'll be saying thank you to Sarah. This is because in the midst of the confusion, when I didn't know what I wanted to do, when I wasn't sure I wanted to HR, I met Sarah and I saw the work she was and is doing, and I knew that I could do this, and I want to do this, and I want to get to where she is and even more one day. So I'm really grateful. I'm saying thank you so much. I don't want to waste so much time, but I know you know, because I try to tell you as often as I can, but you've impacted my career so much and even my personal life. Then I'll also want to say thank you to Booker and Debbie, because even when I knew what I wanted to do, when I made up my mind, I wasn't sure I'd have the best support, and I'm having it currently. No gatekeeping, no hard feelings, no sad days at work because of the people I'm working with. So it's been amazing, and I'm just grateful to. There's so many other people, but these are the three for the purpose of this conversation. Please, thank you.
Can you mention their full names?
Deborah Yafa and Booker Amos.
For me, honestly, I feel like if I start mentioning names, we will not live here. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has purchased a scarf or just, engaged my services. And even people who haven't but still keep talking about what I do, they repost or just refer me to people, it definitely goes a long way. And I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Spoken like a true businesswoman. All right, ladies, thank you so much. It has been amazing.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I didn't even know time was going, and it's just really great. So you have heard it from them. We need to continue these conversations. We need to understand each other. We need to be patient with each other. And we need to stop the stereotypes, because every generation has what it has. But it's really been lovely. So thank you all, ladies, for honoring this invitation. All right, so until we come your way again with another interesting episode of Partners and Pathways podcast, you can like, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms. We will see you again. Bye.